Good morning. It's Harvey Jackson from Producer Profit. Just going to go through some of the top news items. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and a lot of trade is actually kind of going to a minimum as we speak today. So we'll just have a quick look at the markets here. Uh, the Steenan meeting is on for later on this afternoon, and hope to see you there. So the tariffs, Reuters posted this article, and tariffs might affect energy markets and some of the stats. And I'm not very good with these stats, but Canada exported 1.77 million dollars of energy products to the United States in 2023. Crude oil imports from Canada make up more than 1/5 of the U.S. Refining process, and most of the gas imports, about 8.4 billion cubic feet came from pipelines from Canada. So like we're interconnected, and then so that's just on the energy side, and then on the ag side, there is like 85% of the potash, and it's also talking about the Canadian products making up the second largest of origin of the U.S. product imported uh, behind Mexico from Canada, and nearly half of the imports, the vegetable oils and lumber, come from Canada as well. So Karen Brown posted this on Reuters as well. So it's just talking about the size of the soy composition in the oil complex. There is like palm oil accounts for about 40% of the global output of major oils, and rapeseed and sunflower oil and soybean oil claim a third place, but there is a $170 per metric ton premium of soy or the palm oil over the soy oil. And it's not very often that that actually happens. You can see here. I guess I got to change the color, but you can see here, that it's actually catching a fair bit of premium. It doesn't happen very often. So she just goes on to some more stats. 83% of the world's production comes from Indonesia and Malaysia, and the top two soy oil exporters are Argentina and Brazil. And the U.S. actually was a bigger exporter, and they may end up having to go that way if they cut some of the renewable fuels programs. Uh, Mexico president is expected to retaliate with its own tariffs against the U.S. And it's stated that one tariff would be followed by another in response. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. I don't think they like being bullied a little bit, but we'll see how that plays out. Mexican imports have been basically shut off for the last for the next little wee bit here until we figure out how this screwworm and to be able to identify it. So there is no cattle coming from the U.S. or from Mexico right now because that's where it's been identified. And I think we know what's going on here. Rapeseed is hitting a 4-week low, even though it's still catching a premium over the canola. Ceasefire in Israel and Hezbollah. So let's just have a quick look at the markets. Canola is down 8.70 as I spoke here. Rapeseed is down, just about $2. Soybean oil down a quarter of a penny. Palm oil is up, and the Chinese rapeseed is actually down, but it seems like it's a bit of a delay there. And crude oil is back up a little wee bit as well. Soybeans down or up 4 cents, but still below that $10 mark. And the wheats are down or anywhere from 3 to 5 cents. And the Canadian dollar is just slightly up. So just have a quick look at the charts. What does this mean? I'm going to say we're still got support at way down at the basement values that we've seen beginning of September when the tariffs talk was basically suggested that it was going to come on, and we're trying to track right back to that value. So if we look at new crop, we're actually making new lows on new crop canola. So new crop being November 25. So it's actually slid a lot farther than the front line. Rapeseed, you can see that tail off and still got a long ways to fall where the canola is way down and almost a full retracement value down. Rapeseed is actually still capturing a very high value, $175 higher in price than priced in Canadian dollars than the rapeseed or the canola in Canada. And this is just a look with a farther back view, like we are trading way above some of those values. I did put in $100 as kind of like a benchmark, and we're there's $175, not just $100. Too cheap. Soybean oil, a couple nice little recovery or bounce off to 23.6. And palm oil, same. It's actually got a little bit of a recovery there. You got some short-term or moving averages actually probably giving you some technical signals of possible upside there as well. Soybean meal or soybean itself is hovering around the lows, of course, and not at the $10 mark. So you have to break through that, and probably you have to probably get above that line to be somewhat bullish. And the size of the South American crop is just putting a lot of downward pressure on all the veg oils and on the Canadian canola crop as well for just having any upside. Um, here, here's your Canadian dollar. It's trading quite low here yet, even though it's got a little bit of a green day. But what does that look like? When you zoom out, there's been times where it's been lower, and you have to go all the way back into the 2000s, as I even stated yesterday. So here, and I showed this a few different times. So what this is, this number here for yield is not a StatScan number. It's just a 10-year average, taking out the high year and low year with 90% of expected of the 10-year average. So that's putting us into a fairly tight position, and exports would have to get cut, or vice versa. Maybe crush has to be kind of scaled back. The way things are going, it's possible that crush would actually get scaled back. Wheat, still a downward trend. A little bit of a green day yesterday, but still trying to hold on to the moving average and above it. Here's your new crop, flirting with the bottom of the range and looking for some selling opportunities as maybe we get into the spring, and I think that's what we might have to wait for. Here's your Chicago wheat, and here's your hard red winter. Almost look at identical trends here, and your billing wheat. So next Thursday, we've got our stat scan, and then the following week we've got a crop production. So I guess the hope would be that we're going to get some good news in the next couple of weeks. Probably very little action going to happen in the next few days. Probably take until Tuesday next week before you actually see anything significant happen. And that's all I have for you today.